welcome to my project for Data 620 for Professor Carrie Beam. This is Gregory Watson, and my question is, when will the unemployment rate recover from the effects of the coronavirus? So I decided to start by taking a look at how the unemployment rate was affected during Q2 of 2020, which was when the coronavirus really hit, for several different countries. So you can see USA is right here. It's actually the sixth most affected country. And I decided to take a look at Colombia, Spain, Canada, and the United States. The only reason I didn't pick Greece and Turkey was because they didn't have data available for 2021, and these other ones did. So you can see the highest is Colombia, around 22%, and Canada hovered around 13% for that quarter. Now, for the year, the United States finished at around 8.1%, so there clearly was some sign of recovery. And you can actually all see in all of these countries right here during the giant spike that 2020 took because of the coronavirus. So they all kind of behaved similarly, but the only one that was trending upwards the entire time is actually Colombia, which had a much higher unemployment rate in its history than the other countries. So now I'm using a control chart to look at other historical periods of high unemployment with certain countries and seeing how long it took them to recover. So when I was looking through the data, I found Spain and Greece had really high unemployments during the years of 2013. So the areas that are in bold are outliers, meaning they're outside one standard deviation of the normal unemployment rate. And you can see that with these green lines and these brown lines for the respective countries too. So right here is a period of very high unemployment where both of these countries had outliers in unemployment rate. That Greece actually reached an all-time high around here of about 28%. And another important point is right here. Around 2016, the beginning of 2016 was when unemployment rates only began to start to return to normal levels. You can see they still have a lot to go. And this was about 2.5 years afterwards. So quite a long time. But you can see that once they pass this line, they start to return to more normal levels. Now I was also able to get data for the S&P 500, which is a big proponent in the stock market, and compare the unemployment rate to the stock market. Now, the reason I did this is because unemployment is driven a lot by the businesses closing down, which caused their stock prices to tank, which mean they had to furlough or lay off employees, and that caused high unemployment. So you'll see right here, when the S&P 500 hit a local low point, that's also where unemployment hit a high point. And they vary inversely, where when the S&P starts decreasing, that's when unemployment starts skyrocketing. And you can see when they're both beginning to recover, they start that at approximately the same time. And that's because when the companies start to recover, they're able to open up hiring again. There was a lot of hiring freezes during COVID. They can start hiring again. People can find jobs and unemployment goes down. And you can see here with the volume also has to do with selling. It's not just buying. So the selling volume starts a bit early, right before unemployment hits. So everything in this chart in figure 4 is related. And lastly, for our recovery forecast, I was able to show, this is a monthly view of the unemployment rate. And I was able to create a forecast with Tableau using just a linear forecast. And you can see the confidence intervals on the top and bottom. And the forecast actually predicted the same unemployment rate for the next 6 months. It goes all the way from February to July, and it predicts it at 6.9%. So I do believe this is actually a pretty good forecast, even though it's predicting the same unemployment rate, because I plotted the average, which was 6.9%, and the forecast is slightly above average. I think the unemployment rate is going to stay above average for a little bit of time, but it is good to know that it's not crazy high anymore because we are already seeing some signs of recovery. So all in all, I think this is a pretty usable forecast, and it makes sense. And this right here is the link to my data source.